Step 1, remove two 15mm nuts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 push fits. Step 3, remove the engine cover. This comes away just by giving it a short, sharp pull. Now the engine covers have been removed, we do advise removing the battery positive and covering over. The next step involves removing this vacuum pipe here, squeeze and pull, slackening off this 7mm there, slackening off this 7mm there, removing the match sensor plug and taking the lid off. Once the back pipe's been removed, Jubilee clip slackened, we now work on removing this and then we'll remove this secondary pipe. The following step involves removing the third pipe back. The next step involves removing the coolant tank. This comes away by giving a short, sharp pull over the latches at the back there. Don't disconnect the coolant pipes, you don't want any coolant leaving the system. We're just going to put it out the way over here somewhere. This allows us to gain access to the lower intake pipe that connects to the turbo. The next step, remove one 10mm down the side here, pull this pipe holder out there, remove the two back pipes from the back, that one and that one, remove the wiring clip from there and undo the 7mm down here. This pipe connects to the turbocharger. Once that's all come out, we can work on taking this 10mm out and this vacuum pipe off. Once all the fixings for the pipe have been removed, it does take quite a lot of manoeuvring to get out, and we do find that by lifting up this solenoid it frees up some space over this pipe here. Once you've done that, it's just a case of manoeuvring it out. Final piece to remove is the front intake pipe along with the air box. This section will be going back in, but in order to separate the two items without damaging them, they do all have to come off as one. Now we begin the installation of the new intake kit. Firstly, we're going to fit the reducer elbow and its Jubilee clip. This Jubilee clip is the smallest out of the four. See its sizing. One helpful tip when fitting the reducer elbow is fitting or loosely placing the Jubilee clip over the reducer elbow before pushing it onto the turbo inlet. Once fitted, the pipe should look like this. It's quite difficult to fit, but once it's in, make sure you've tightened it up as to avoid any leaks. So this is the first half of the top pipe. This end joining onto the turbo reducer elbow. This going onto a straight connector at the back of the engine here. When fitting this pipe, make sure that you don't scratch it on any of this. It is quite tight, so just be mindful that you can cause damage if you're not careful. Fitted, push it in so it engages with the reducer by, I'd call it about 1.5 inches. At this point, we're going to remove this plastic nut here and this one, and we're going to fit the long bracket. Okay, now the long bracket's been fitted, you'll notice that we've put the slotted end of the bracket on the cam cover and the Allen cap screw at this end. Okay, so we'll leave all these loose at this moment because we need to adjust. You will notice that this is a rubber cover here, and to allow for adjustment and this bracket to slide back, this needs to be lifted. Next we'll be fitting the straight 76mm joiner, two Jubilee clips, both with the heads facing backwards like this. One thing we will say is before pushing this rubber up to here, please fit this hose first. So fit the hose, push the rubber nice and tight, snug up to it before connecting the back pipe. Next step, we move to the side of the engine. Now down here you will see a lone stud by itself. At this point, we fit the alloy spacer. Next we fit the longer pipe. This again passes through a very tight space, so please be careful not to damage the pipe. This outlet goes at the top and will connect to this pipe. We'll then pass through, keeping a close eye on this and this, because these are very close to touching. Then we will mount the pipe with the welded in union there to this bracket. Before fitting the side pipe, you'll notice that there are 3 rubber covers that come in the fitting kit. 2 short and 1 long. 1 short goes onto this bolt coming out the ECU holder, the other short goes onto this one, and the other long one goes to this one. Once fitted, it should look like this. This is on. Now this is on, you'll see that the pipe passes past here. And as I say, it can get quite close, but this is the reason we've left everything loose, including that Jubilee clip and including this bracket. Because if you watch, when we pull this away, like this will move. Okay, so we're going to get it, we're going to hold this in, it may take an extra pair of hands. We're going to hold this pipe into exactly the position you want it, making sure that it clears it like this all the way around. Once you're happy with its position, we suggest that you tighten it starting from this end onto that bracket, onto there, and there we go. Tightened and you're happy with its positioning, all pipe work has been reconnected, including the breather from here down to there. We move on to transferring the pressure sensor from here under there. Once the kit's been tightened, you're happy with its positioning, you're happy that it passes past these bolts here with the rubber bobbins on, and this pipe there, the bracket's positioned correctly. With pipe work reconnected, the bracket tightened, and all Jubilee clips to the turbo tightened, we move on to transferring this sensor over into the new induction kit. This sensor can be removed by giving it a twist and a pull. Once it's been removed, we can work on. One of the last steps in the process is to separate this front pipe from the airbox. Once separated, we're going to refit this back in its mount here and here, and this will act like a direct feed to the air filter on the Dreamscience intake. So now for the final checks. Air filters now fitted, sensors fitted, rubber covers fitted, all pipe work reconnected, on, tube Jubilee clips tight. Alignment looks good, we're not hitting anything anywhere, it's all nice and tight. Coolant bottle back down, we're ready to go. Last step, refit the engine covers and start the engine.